Welcome to the Craig and Greg Show, presented by Maximize Leadership. Here are Craig Owens and Greg Harris.
Hey, this is the Craig and Greg Show. I'm Craig. This is Greg. We are really glad that you've joined us. We love doing this podcast. Don't we love?
Oh, I think your language is amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you give him the title?
That is the title right there.
Love language?
I just told you.
Okay, that you like to love the language?
I love it.
Excellent. This is not about Cupid, although Valentine's is in the month of February, so get your chocolate and your cards out. And it's not about arranged marriages either. I do have a funny story. Can I do the story? We're going to do it now, aren't we?
It's your show, so go ahead.
Here we go. So my daughter is a missionary in Guatemala, and she calls me on FaceTime, and she's got a bunch of her missionary friends with her. And you can hear them cackling and laughing in the background. And, hey, Dad, we're talking about arranged marriages. What is your position? No, Lex, that's it. No, it's not acceptable. And she's like, no, all the other dads answered. I'm like, well, shame on them.
Right.
Like, I don't wish to arrange it. I think picking a good partner is tough enough. Your dad's not going to do it for you. So their arranged marriage disaster, and they were like, boo, boo, you got to give. I said, I don't even know whose son to pick. Oh my gosh, she just put me in a corner. So this is not about Cupid and not about arranged marriages.
Right.
But it is about a really great author, Gary Chapman, in a book that has sold zillions. Is that a number?
It is now.
It is, it's Chicago math. Gary Chapman wrote a book called Love Languages, and you've taught the class, you've preached on it, you've counseled people. What's your take on those languages, and how do we apply that to our viewership of leaders?
Well, I think that it's anybody who communicates with anybody has got to know the 5 love languages. And I think that sometimes when people talk about leadership and love, they're like, do those go in the same sentence? But I mean, think about it. If leaders don't love what they're doing and they don't love the people around them, then what really are they? They're a leader out of fear, people following them because they're afraid of what happens if they don't. I mean, that's no fun.
Or acquiring things.
Yeah. So I think that you truly have to love people. So reading the book doesn't, it's not some kind of magical formula, but I think learning about yourself and learning about the people around you does really take the communication to the next level. So just real quickly, the 5 love languages, some of them are, one of them is words of affirmation. People they like to hear those words being spoken to them.
Like you're a good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy to know.
Yeah. And, or just, saying to somebody, good job. They want to hear those words.
Right.
Now, some people don't want to hear the words. They like the physical touch. So they want you to literally pat them on the back, not verbally.
Or high five them.
So they want that. There are some people that their love language is, I just want some time with you. So they call it, Dr. Chapman calls it quality time.
Right.
That you're just sitting there just going, hey, this is...
like really focused on it. Yeah.
Listen to me. Don't be going like this and checking your phone while you're talking to me.
Right.
One of the love languages, gifts. And by that, we don't mean spending a lot of money. It's that thoughtfulness. Like, even if it was something little, oh, you remembered that I like that and you got it for me. And then the final one is called acts of service, which is really saying, let me do something for you so that it frees up your time. Something that maybe you don't really like to do it, but I'll do it for you. Yeah. Which of those, I think I know, but which one of those would you say is your primary love language out of those 5?
I'm not going to answer because it's probably words. I'm just teasing. I think what's fascinating for the viewership, so love language, how you wish to be treated and how we wish to treat others, like what's your natural, or do you know them enough? Right. It's a little bit of the difference between the golden rule, do unto others as you would want them to do to you, and the platinum rule, do unto others as they wish to be treated. Right. And I think this one gets to as they wish to be treated, more platinum. What do I like to do? Or what do you think that your love language is? To receive?
Yes.
I don't know if it's just one, and I think that's part of what Gary Chapman, the author, talks about is, you're not just in one silo. I like time. Yep. I like quality time with people. Like, I really get to know the person, be genuine, get in there, dig deep. What's yours?
That would be mine as well. I mean,
copycat.
I would rather sit down and just be, let's just talk. Let's get to know each other. Let's go deeper on something than anything else. Yeah. But it's interesting because, see, what happens is, like what you said, because I like to receive love that way, then I my first reaction is going to be to treat everybody that way. Hey, let's get together and spend some time. And they might be going, I don't want to.
I'm not there.
Yeah, that's nice, but that's not really speaking to my love language.
Right.
I remember once doing some counseling with a young couple, sweet couple, but just 2 months into their marriage, they came and they said, we're really struggling. And I said, really, two months into it? And they began to share with me what was going on. And I started smiling. And I said, I know what's happening here. I said, for him, I said, your love language is acts of service. Oh. And then I said to her, and your love language is quality time. So when she comes home from work, she wants to sit down on the couch and just talk. How was your day? He wants to get up and start fixing all these things. And let me take care of the dishes and let me get dinner ready because he's going to take care of all these things. So he thinks he's expressing love to her. And she's going, you're not speaking my language. But I think the great thing about the love languages is once you know what somebody else's love language is and you begin to speak in their dialect, as their love tank gets full, then eventually all of the love languages start speaking to them.
Yeah, that's really good.
And so, but you gotta take the time to figure out what is their love language, and think about as leaders how much farther we can get in our communication with somebody when you're not speaking at them and missing them, but you're speaking and you're going psst, and you're bullseye every single time that you speak because you're speaking their love language.
I have a leadership example, someone that I worked with, and he tried to be a good leader, and that's not easy. It's a tough assignment, right? Because you're trying to be a leader to many,
right?
Versus like I only have one understudy. I'll get to know them. I'm their mentor. And I think the challenge that he had in particular was he spoke or did the language expression his way. And then when someone was like, well, he doesn't really listen, or he didn't really spend time, or I don't know if he really, likes me because I don't hear the words. And he was the busy guy, chaining in the light bulbs, picking up after people. And, he was kind of the servant leader.
Yeah, yep.
But that felt good to him.
Yep.
But his staff and his teammates and even his fellow partners and the lateral leaders didn't really feel the love from him because he spoke in his way,
right?
And he missed the mark.
Yep.
There's an interesting thing, and I know your wife's a teacher, and I think teachers have a very, very tough job. But one of the things that I've learned from how teachers teach, having gone to undergrad school and graduate school, is they're all different, the professors. How they teach is a little bit of the maze that we have in terms of love language. So a teacher is going to teach a certain way, because that's how they think or how they can explain the point or the message or the theme in the textbook. And I think that's one of our cautions as leaders is not to do it your way, but to find out. And that's the tough part. It's a little risky because you got to ask, like, what's the best way to love you? What?
Yeah.
But you want to.
Well, and that's where I think that the power of observation, like observing the other person.
Right.
So like, the physical touch, that one's really easy because you'll see that person, they always want to shake hands when they meet with somebody.
Yeah.
They are literally, while they're talking with somebody, they can't help it. They'll reach out and they'll pat them on the arm. You'll see that when somebody is expressing something like sad, that they'll be like, oh, let me put my arm around you. So that one's really easy to spot.
Yeah.
You can also tell the one, I think, that is the quality time by they won't be going like this. They won't be looking at their phone when they're talking to other people. They'll be like locked in. They make the eye contact, and they seldom break the eye contact.
Right.
And they'll start to get annoyed if, like, while you're having a conversation, if I'm talking to you and you keep looking over here and saying hi to other people as they're coming in the room, you'll see them start getting annoyed.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of learning somebody's love language, we use the phrase servant leadership a lot. That really is serving somebody. When I say, hey, my primary love language is, in my case, is quality time. So that means it's going to be work for me to speak in the other 4 languages.
I see.
But I'm really going to
not as
serve.
natural.
Yeah, it's not natural for me to do that. And so anything that's not natural, it's going to feel awkward.
Right.
So like if you're not a physical touch guy, for for you to reach out and shake hands with somebody or high five them or something like that, you might be going, it feels awkward to me. Yes, it might feel awkward to you, but this is how you're serving your teammate.
Right.
You just that quick high five when you went by, you filled something in their love tank
Right.
that you weren't before.
It's human nature to have needs and touch, closeness, etc. Yeah, that's very good. What would you say, can we assimilate love language to a leadership example, maybe that the viewers would really connect with? What example do you have before we finish up?
Well, I think that especially when you are challenging your team to, we're going to take on a new venture, or we really need to step it up here. Yeah. Like you talked about with the teachers, you can't just say it one way. And as the leader, when you go, man, I am really excited about this new venture, your natural inclination is going to be, let me tell you how I'm going to do this in my language.
Right.
And so I would really encourage leaders to sit down and think, okay, so now if I was an acts of service person, what do I want to hear about this venture?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear how we're going to serve people. If I was a physical touch person, what do I want to hear? Okay, well, how's this going to break down barriers so that we can get closer to people? So you have to think that through. Something that I would like to make available, I think I'm going to kind of throw Austin, put him on the spot here. So if this doesn't work out, we'll blame Austin.
We have someone to blame already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But awesome. I have an assessment that I've kind of developed over the years that I think we could put on our website on maximizedleader.com, where people can download this. We'll set it up as a PDF.
Nice idea.
And you can kind of go through and check the boxes and then add up some scores at the end, and it'll help you determine not only your love language, but you can do it for other people on your team as well.
Useful tool for the leaders out there. Yeah, yeah. Any last things other than, did you like my red shirt? I tried to tie, so you can't see me with this chair, can you?
That's right.
It's camouflage, yeah.
So is red the color of love?
I don't know. Yeah, we should find out what language has what color.
See,
yeah,
I know.
I'm going to hesitate on the red.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, we love being able to get some dialogue with you. Thanks for those of you that have commented to us on our videos and reached out to us on Twitter as well. Those comments not only encourage us; those are some words of affirmation that we get. Yeah. And so we appreciate that. But it helps us to know what kind of content that you'd like to hear, kind of teaching that you would like. And so please, on both our YouTube channel and on Maximize Podcast on Twitter, continue to send us those questions and those comments so that we can integrate those in other episodes that we have upcoming. And so we just want to stay in dialogue with you, and we want to be able to serve you the best way that we possibly can. So we love hearing from you. So stay tuned. We got lots of great content coming up in the next couple of months. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Get in touch with Craig and Greg through Twitter at Maximize Podcast or at MaximizeLeadership.com. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of The Craig and Greg Show.